So once again, we are in the Dad Cypher. I am your boy, Dr. J.L. Adolph, better known as the Extra Large Professor.
Over here, twin number 1.
Twin number 2.
And today we're going old school, y'all. We taking y'all back to the message. Don't forget the Dad Cypher is about 80s and 90s babies connecting with the
New millennials.
New millennials, or
Alright.
the boss with the sauce. Y'all don't say boss with the sauce. Oh, I forgot, bruh. Bruh, what's going on, bruh?
Saying that way too aggressive.
Hey yo, be a father. If not, why bother, son? A boy can make 'em, but a man can raise one. If you did it, admit it and stick with it. Don't say it ain't yours, cause all women are not whores. 90% represent a woman that is faithful. Ladies, can I hear it? When a girl gets pregnant, her man is gonna run her.
It's about to be some old school. Covering the message, baby. Back when we were pop locking and all that. Yeah. They don't know about that. Planet Rock 1906, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Alex, you acted.
This kid right here, this dude.
Bum.
Alright, can we get you at least a little pop lock?
Nah, Alex can't.
Hey, Alex, go ahead and pop lock.
Yeah, ugly dude.
You do it.
Ugly
You do
dude.
it.
Alright, you've been practicing the Michael Jackson moves, so let's see something.
You let's see some dance moves, Mike.
Alright, that's good. Let's stop.
Okay, we're not doing it.
We're looking at the 4th verse. Yes, believe it, ladies and gentlemen, at one point in time, hip-hop songs used to have like somewhere between 3 to 5 verses. Now you can barely get 2. So message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Shout out to them. Shout out to my Jamaican brothers and sisters, because if it were not for them, hip-hop would not be where it is today. So, let's kick it off, fellas. So, let's see. What is your thoughts on the 4th verse when he said, "Daddy, I don't want to go to school because the teacher's a jerk. They must think I'm a fool."
Like a typical kid, teachers mean I don't want to go to school. But then he starts getting into detail about what's going on after school. And
Like saying the kids. The kids already don't want to go. They're just smoking weed in the bathroom.
Yeah, doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. And like it's kind of hard. I guess it would be hard for a father to argue with the son about working a regular job would be safer, because in my opinion, it would be than just staying in that environment.
Do you feel like, you know, you guys are getting everything that you need from like teachers and that sort of thing?
And like they just need different food, you know, but
Wow.
although we're getting everything.
Some teachers are terrible.
Education wise, we're getting everything we need. Some teachers don't care, or some teachers have favorite students. But
I would say, you know what, in the 80s and 90s, unfortunately, I went to inner city school from K through 5th grade. And I will say that it was a lot of struggles, not because the kids were bad or that the teachers didn't care. I think a lot of us were just living in poverty, or schools didn't have as much stuff as you need. So for me as a student, it was like, you know, why am I here? It was still, you know what, I don't know if I really felt like a teacher or what I was learning in school was going to really prepare me for what I was going to do in the future, guys. What do you think about the job opportunities? He was like, he might as well drop out of school and become a street sweeper.
personally, I don't even know what that is.
How do you not know what that is? Look at this new millennial.
It's a person that they get into the car, they get into the vehicle, and they sweep the streets to make it clean.
Oh. Okay, I was like drugs.
Wow. Anyway, Okay. I mean, it just seemed like to me he's talking about the lack of prospects that's out there for him and that sort of thing. Also, it's talking about, his life is like a seesaw, constantly going up and down. But my favorite part of this song is "Don't Push Me 'Cause I'm Close to the Edge." What does that mean for you guys in this time? It's like a jungle sometimes to make me wonder how I keep from going under. What do you guys think about that? Because you guys, for the most part,
it's basically saying you're hanging around by a thread.
Yeah, and you guys are suburb kids, so you don't really know what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to know what it's like. So.
We're gonna go back to verse number 5, and it's one of my favorite verses in the song when he was talking about a child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. Ooh. And so right away he's talking about like kids are born with a blank slate. But I'm gonna let you guys take it from there. What is the kid seeing in the song?
I think he's seeing people. Well, now we know they're bad influence, but influence these people doing stuff, and he thinks it's he's starting to think. He notices it's just normal now.
Yeah.
So I think you're saying that wrong. The old people, they didn't know what it was. 'Cause everybody, they knew what crack was. They knew what it was.
Well, in the beginning they didn't.
Yes, they
did. Yeah,
in
the beginning, no. In the beginning, they didn't kind of know how addictive that crack was going to be.
But they knew what it was.
They knew what it was, yeah. And but the main thing is about this kid and what is he seeing in this neighborhood. How can the kid get better if you're seeing panhandlers, dope dealers?
Maybe he could talk to himself and be like, hey, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to be like that, so I'm going to try to be better.
Right.
So maybe the son could take a different approach to this.
Right.
Because he's just trying to get out to the world immediately, and maybe that would actually help him. Right. That would lead him to the path because he'll start getting stressed out. Maybe if he goes to school and starts focusing, hey, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. But what we see in this song, and because this kid is blind to the ways of mankind, right away he think, I need to become a stick-up kid. I need to go out there and rob and kill. And then what happens to him? He ends up in jail.
Yep, ends up falling. Then there's a homophobic slur in there. We're not gonna say it, but
I'll go ahead and say it. He says he basically said that you end up with a tag like a May tag, and then he said that that most of these men end up in prison becoming an undercover F word. I mean,
what's that word?
The fans would be the S-A, and then you can add whatever letter you want to add on.
But
F-A-G?
Let's say outside of the homophobic slur, he's basically talking about once you go to jail, you're vulnerable to all kinds of treatment. Not only is it a terrible place to be, but you run risk of course, being taken advantage of. And then the conditions are so bad in there that he says at the end of the song that this kid that didn't really know what life was like ended up hanging himself in prison.
Oh.
And that's
his kid?
I don't know if it's his kid or not. He was like a child is born with no state of mind. He's basically saying like these kids are born without any guidance, and what are we showing them? That what's so cool. But my question for you guys is, has hip-hop really changed much now? I mean, some of your most favorite rappers brag about the prison system. They brag about selling dope and doing all those things, but they don't really show us the psychological pain that comes with it with prison life.
It's a mix of both.
It depends who you're looking at. Some people make it seem like prison is a breeze.
Yeah.
Some of them, they do somewhat touch up on the struggles, so it's not like all easy like some people are saying. Like I think some rappers do, but some of them don't too. So you have to it's 50-50.
Some of them try to give you a message not to go there.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
Would you suggest, like, going back to that other verse 4, what do you think, like, the father should say to the son? Because you hear, like, the son saying, Daddy, I don't want to go to school. But what do you think, like, what should be the father's advice? Because the kid does make a good point.
His advice is, like, this is what's going to happen if you don't go to school. Saying you're going to be on the struggle, you're going to be on the thread.
But the kid could easily come back with, Yeah, but the teacher's not teaching me because the teacher thinks the kid is stupid.
And
so
then you can say, teach yourself. Like, get him some books.
Yeah, he could teach him. You know what? You know what?
But not everybody learns that way, though.
Yeah, but you know what? You can teach, in many cases, do self-education. Unfortunately, you know what? It's so funny because we're talking about jail. But some of our greatest, like, African-American leaders went to jail. And a lot of them came out there with knowledge, you know?
Well, every jail person thinks they have knowledge.
No, I'm talking about Malcolm X had real knowledge. I'm not talking about like fake knowledge there.
We don't refer
like,
to that's
not the in living color character that comes out. And that's
the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
Since this is an old school classic, for me, I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 diplomas. What about you?
I'll give it 4 out of 5 scholarships, actually. Not
Okay.
diplomas.
Oh yeah, you're
scholarships. Right. And the reason why they don't get a full 5 on me, because I don't like the breaks he takes, the instrumentals. If I want to hear instrumentals between the breaks, I just look at the beat online. You know, I want to hear lyrics. Not this beats. Not just
I feel like
beat.
he ran out of breath, took a sip, took a sip of water, and maybe grabbed a bite of food real quick,
and went back to the studio. Yeah.
Well, first of all, hip hop was played for parties early on in the '80s, so you needed that break so the break dancers, you know, could do their thing, you know, pop and lock while in between the break. You can't have them dancing while the rappers rapping.
There's a reason. You can dance for the rappers that rapping.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted a space.
What do you think Blueface?
Well, Blueface. Are you freaking kidding me?
Blueface, baby.
Hey. Yeah. How do you dance on something that's offbeat? I don't get it.
You
but
bust down on the gay.
Yeah.
That's how we kind of fruity.
Anyway, again, let's stop the homophobic slurs.
It sounds kind of weird.
Okay. With that being said, Evan, how would you rate it? Could you look at the camera and tell them how many scholarships would you give them?
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
Why is that?
Because personally, I don't even like the beat. But I don't like the beat, but I like the message.
How could you not like the beat?
It's
just because you listen to dubstep.
Alright, the beat is hot.
Alrighty.
Born to be an 80s.
Bust down.
Okay, so got to give a shout out to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 for making such a classic song.
Fast and Furious.
No, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 for making such an iconic hit. So that's gonna be it for us. Hey, check our show out next week. The twins will not be here. They will have their oldest big brother, and we're gonna cover Maxo Cream. That's who we will cover. Okay. So 1906. This is the dad Cypher. Dr. JL Adolf, aka the extra large professor.
Alright, twin number 1
and twin number 2.
This is
we out.